Coach Watkins, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
What's up, Bo? How's it going?
Good, good, good. Hey, let's talk quickly about the game last week, falling to Riverside. One of those games where, as you and I had spoken about, one of those games that there's a lot of positive things you can look at, a lot of good things that were done, but also at the same time there were things that there was opportunities that came our way that we didn't necessarily take advantage of, right? Can you give me just a quick recap as far as what your assessment was of that game against RCC?
Yeah, I thought our team played hard. I thought they, went out there and gave it their best shot. So
Mhm.
we're obviously going against Riverside, one of the best teams in the state. And, when you play a team like that, you don't have the luxury of making many mistakes. And
Yeah,
unfortunately for us, we made, a few too many mistakes.
yeah,
And although the game went back and forth and, it was some exciting scoring and some exciting plays taking place throughout the game, we just couldn't make enough plays to overcome their level of execution.
sure.
Offensively, they were lights out. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know exactly off the top of my head how many yards they had, but it felt like they were moving the ball, pretty consistently and effectively against our defense, which, for the first time that's happened to us all year, and so
Mhm.
it was a little bit of shock, but I was very happy that our defense kept playing. They played hard the entire game, all four quarters, and fought to the very end. And offensively, we did some things that were really good to see. We competed at a high level, made some plays, scored some points, and unfortunately, we also made some mistakes.
Sure.
Some very untimely turnovers and drop balls and miscommunications within the logistics of our pre-snap operation. And so when you're playing a championship caliber team like Riverside College, you don't have the luxury of making those kind of mistakes. And unfortunately, we made them, and obviously we took the loss.
Yeah, and then just to recap, RCC finished with 619 total offensive yards, with their quarterback Brady Jones passing for 439 yards, going 29 for 43 with three touchdowns. Um, and I think you hit it on the head that was one of the assessments even prior to the game that we had talked about. It was I think I called it. We bring our shiny object, they have theirs, and both
Yep.
quarterbacks playing at a high level. Jax himself going for 345 total yards, 30 or 49 passes. And like you said, it was like a heavyweight fight, right? It was a heavyweight fight in which one team would counter, the other team would counter back. And unfortunately for us, it was just one of those. There was a lead that they held. I mean, going into the halftime, it was 28-13. And I believe it was early in the third or fourth, we cut it down to one possession game. But then again, as you mentioned, there were opportunities that were left on the table for us to get it tied, and or even to kind of shift the momentum. And like you said, and that's the thing with a team like RCC that's coached by like Tom Kraft and his crew over there. It's like they're not going to go away, right? This
Right.
this team is not going to go away. Um,
Right.
what was your message to the team after the game? I mean, I know, like I said, there's a lot of good things to look at, but also obviously there's got to be disappointment because this was the team that we were looking forward to. What was your message to the team afterward?
Yeah, I was extremely positive with them. Like
Yeah.
I said, I was very proud with how they performed and how they competed for 60 minutes. I
Uh-huh.
told them, that the things that we talked about, the mistakes that we could not afford, they showed up. And I
Mhm.
thought we played a game that was probably good enough to beat the majority of the teams in the
Absolutely.
NCFA. It was
Absolutely.
not good enough to beat Riverside. And
Yeah.
so. I talked to them consistently, about winning that one weekend. But at the end
Mhm.
of this game in particular, I told them that, you guys may have just competed against the best team in the state right there. And for
Yeah.
you guys to go toe to toe with them, like you mentioned, there were multiple moments in the game where it was a one possession game, and that
Yeah.
game could have went any direction. And there was a
Absolutely.
particular segment in the game where I thought the momentum had swung to our side.
Yep.
They scored, we returned a kick, or we scored, they scored, we returned a kick, and it just felt like the momentum was starting to swing our way. And like you said, the championship team that they are, they just bounced back. They bounced back and kept on playing. And so I was extremely positive with my guys. We have a 24-hour rule, win or lose, and so we came in on Monday and we watched the film and we grew from it. We learned from our mistakes, and hopefully we don't make those same mistakes going forward. We just talked about, how if you want to be a championship team
Mhm.
in November and December, you have to play those caliber teams anyway. And so getting a good look at, getting a good competition versus Riverside, kind of gave us a pretty good measuring stick of where we are right now.
So, and just to recap that, it was Leonte Logan that provided that spark, the 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown that brought the game 27-34. And I believe that was around 6, 7 minutes in the third quarter. And again, and watching the live cast on my end, I had that same feeling. Momentum is shifting here. Momentum
Yeah,
shifting here. And then, you know, the championship team that they are, what do? They go on a 6 play, 50 yard, 51 or 41 yard counter, right? For a
yep,
touchdown to bring. And again, those are the things that made the game fun to watch. But
yeah,
also, as you mentioned, there were just some unfortunate, drop passes, and there were, you can see some of the things that Riverside did do to adjust as well as far as protection on their side of their quarterback. And so regardless, I thought it was a great game. It's one of those things that you take all the positives from it, and if the recap that I had written out was, the score doesn't necessarily reflect what happened in the game, right?
yeah.
But unfortunately, we are what the score is,
There's
right?
no doubt. The
We
score
are
is
what
what
the
it
score is,
is.
right? But it was a fun game. I think the team will grow from this, and especially our first year players, that they know that they can go, as you said, toe to toe with a
Yeah,
program like RCC.
no doubt.
So again, that's a good thing to know. So moving forward, big game, Palomar. This tomorrow. We call it I guess you can call it, which team is going to be crowned king of the county, right? We've taken care of Grossmont, we've taken care of Southwestern. We're looking into Palomar. What do we know about them, Coach?
So the one thing we know about Palomar for sure is that we're always going to get their best shot. Every time we get together, dating back to 2018 when I took over at Mesa College, every single game versus Palomar has been an exciting one to be in attendance at. Like
Mhm.
the records don't matter.
Yeah.
Who won last year doesn't matter. Where you stand, playoff bowl game doesn't matter. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., you're going to have two teams who are vying to get after one another for 60 minutes. So Coach Early does a great job up there getting his guys ready to play. They do a really good job offensively of creating some confusion with their different motions and formations. And then defensively, they run a very chaotic style of defense in which you're trying to create havoc in your backfield. And so we've been prepping all week for them. I've been preaching to the boys, telling them, hey, it does not matter what you think. It doesn't matter what has happened before this week. Only thing that matters is what's going to take place tomorrow at 1. And so you get no credit for what you've done in previous weeks. You get to go out there and earn it each and every single Saturday. And so we're excited for the opportunity to get after them. Like you said, it is to crown the king of the county. And so that's special to us. We won it last year, and we're hoping to repeat and get that done tomorrow at 1.
Palomar right now currently sits at 3-3 in the conference with a 4-5 overall record. Just a quick question about their quarterback play. I think they run the quarterback by committee, don't they? They use their quarterbacks pretty evenly. Um,
Yeah, I believe that they do have two guys who they've
yeah.
been rotating throughout the year. One of them is Chapman, and then the other one I believe is, well, his name escapes me. He's a young man from Arizona. I can't draw his name right now, but those two guys have been playing relatively equal reps throughout the season. I think Coach Early's done a great job of
Mhm.
developing cues and having quality quarterbacks within his system, and so. If there's a guy if a guy's on the field, I'm pretty sure that there's a reason.
Yeah.
They believe that guy who they're going with that week is going to give them the best opportunity to be successful. And at the end of the day, that is the name of the game, right? It's putting those players in the spot to be successful, which ultimately helps your team.
So the two quarterbacks that we have is Andrew Tapley, a freshman,
Tapley, that's his name.
and the
Tapley,
other one
yeah,
is KJ Chatham.
yeah.
Have
Chatham from San Diego kid.
yep.
I think he went to Lincoln. He's a Lincoln
Yeah,
kid.
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah,
I don't have my notes in front of me regarding that, but
yeah.
regardless, good team, right? Good team, and
Yep.
then it's for Kings of the County. So, Coach, any last words before tomorrow that you wanna tell all the players that's gonna be watching this tonight, and also the fans?
No, Jay, just get ready to go, show up, ready to rock and roll, ready to compete for 60 minutes, and hopefully we put on a good show for the county tomorrow.
Awesome. Once again, tomorrow, San Diego Mesa College travels over to Palomar College, 1 p.m. kickoff. Coach, good luck, and let's finish off the year strong.
All right, Bo, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
All right, now.